Hey there, YouTube. This Fantasy Football Sensei here, bringing at you a awesome sheet with some great information that I came up with. I've drafted dozens and dozens of best ball fantasy football leagues, and I wanted to bring you my information right here and show you how I've compiled some of the data and see some real life draft positions, how much I own players. I'm bringing this straight to you. This is real information, not made up. All right, let's jump right into it. I have the players over here on the left in column A. In column B, this is the general consensus average draft positions. Obviously, it shows Chase at 1. Percentage of ownership, this is the percentage that I own the player. Later on, we'll sort this so we can look into the data more. Number of times drafted. So, for quick reference, we drafted a player in 14 different leagues total. That's correct. We had 14 leagues total. And if you do 3 divided by 14, we get a 21% ownership for Jamar Chase. And then we have my ADP, which is the average draft position of me, depending on how many times I drafted him. For example, down here in row 9 for Jonathan Taylor, we can see that the consensus ADP is 20.5. I own him in 57.14% of my leagues. I drafted him 8 out of 14 times. And my average draft position for him was 18.75. So I was a little bit below consensus. All right, let's jump right into it. We'll kind of go down the list and I'll talk about players as we go. First things first, we have Jamar Chase up here at the top. Jamar Chase is the consensus number 1 overall pick. I had the number 1 pick in 3 leagues. We own him 3 times. Next, we have Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley's average draft position is 3.8, which is a 14.29% ownership. I was able to get him twice, and I was drafting him slightly after ADP at position number 4. And next, we have Alshon Jeffrey. These are some of my most drafted players. I should add that all players were excluded that were not drafted at least 2 times. And then we went through and cut out them later on in the round so you can see. Up here at the beginning, as you can see, you're kind of stuck with the players you get, but I wanted you to see kind of who I was looking at in what draft positions. For example, if I'm number 1, we're looking at Chase. If we're pick 4, I'm looking at Saquon. I've been drafted a lot of Christian McCaffrey, at least in my opinion. We're looking at him around pick 7 or 8. Jonathan Taylor, 18 instead of 20. Josh Jacobs, we're trying to get right around pick 24. It's great information, y'all. All right, let's keep cutting through this so you can see the data more as I break down our whys. I wanted to have some exposure to Christian McCaffrey. We all know that if he's healthy, he's a home run hit. Derrick Henry is one of my favorite players. However, I'm not overly committed to him. Be this 0.5 PPR scoring. That's half point PPR. Outside of that, it's basic underdog fantasy football rules. Next, we have Josh Jacobs. His average draft position is 23. I own him in just a couple leagues, and I have him right at 24. Jonathan Taylor is a player I own in 8 leagues. I own in 57.14% of my leagues. I love Jonathan Taylor this season. The offense runs through him. If the Colts can do anything, it's because Jonathan Taylor is a stud. Next, we have a little bit of A.J. Brown exposure. Nothing crazy. We're drafting him right on ADP. Lamar Jackson, I have in 414 leagues, which is a 28.5% exposure rate. I'm getting him right after ADP. I try aggressively to have a top end quarterback. That's why I'm not surprised to see Lamar, Josh Allen, and Jaden Daniels bunched right here together as some of my most drafted players. If you look, 4, 7, 9 out of 14 leagues, I left with one of these 3 players. That's right. And I was getting Jaden Daniels at pick 41 on average. That's a steal compared to 33. Next, you can see I got Breece Hall in 5 of my leagues. I love Breece Hall and I take him when he's available there. T. Higgins, I try to stack with Jamar Chase when available. Outside of that, I don't draft him. Joe Burrow, I also try to stack with T. Higgins or Jamar Chase, or I don't draft him. Alvin Kamara is one of my preferred players. I try to look for him when available. As you can see, I'm right around ADP. Next, we have DK Metcalf. His ADP is 48. However, I have him at 42.5. I overdraft DK because I really think him and Rodgers are going to go amazing. And spoiler alert, Rodgers is on the top of my list. Next, we have Patrick Mahomes, who I've been drafting a little bit before consensus. I want to leave with a top-end quarterback, and when the top 1 slide, I do reach on Mahomes right around that 4th or 5th round, just depends on the mood. Aaron Jones is a player that I love. I have him right about ADP. Things are going great. Caleb Johnson, again, right around ADP. We like him. Jalen Waddle, I've been taking ahead of ADP. Jalen Waddle bulked up approximately 10 pounds, according to reports. He's also been a high-end player that I've been on for many years. As soon as Tyreek is out, I expect Jalen Waddle to really excel in that offense. Calvin Ridley is one of my favorite players. I have a 50% exposure. That's 7 out of 14 leagues. I'm drafting him a whole 10 spots, actually 13 spots ahead of ADP. That's right, 13 spots ahead of ADP. Calvin Ridley. He's going at 64 on average. I'm taking him at 51. I love Calvin Ridley. I love Cam Ward, and I expect the Titans to be amazing this season. Next, we have Jordan Addison. His average draft position is 73, but my average draft position for taking him is 97. I do like Jordan Addison. However, he's not a primary target for me. As soon as his ADP falls and he slides, I nab him up every time. I love Jordan Addison. 2 seasons of, I believe, 8 touchdowns each. He's a stud. JJ McCarthy's good. Minnesota's great. Travis Kelce, I have a little bit of exposure right on ADP. Cooper Kupp becomes a little bit complicated, mostly because my number is wrong. His ADP is 98, and I get him on average at 95. I have him 5 times out of 14. That's 35.71. Next up, we have Dak Prescott. Again, a quarterback I like. I get him at ADP. I get him 4 out of 14 leagues. That's pretty frequently. Next, we have Ricky Pearsall. I've been drafting him right around ADP. I expect Pearsall to explode. Jalen Reed, his average draft position is 89.8, and I'm drafting him at 77, a whole 12 spots ahead. I love Jalen Reed. When I'm at the end of the drafts, pick 1, 2, or 11, 12, I reach on the players I want, and I reach on Jalen Reed almost every time. Evan Ingram is a player that I like a lot. I know a lot of people are off Evan Ingram, but look at it like this. His ADP is 101. I'm nabbing him at a 112. That's almost a whole round after he's estimated. You might as well snag him. Jordan Love, I have a few places. I like him as much as I like Dak. I have him at ADP. Tyjae Spears, ADP. Jalen Warren is a player that when I can't get an elite tight end, I do reach on him a little bit. Shows me 10 spots ahead of average draft position. However, Tyler Warren's still not a bad snash. Trey Benson, I'm riding consensus. I have him 5 times. I love Trey Benson's outlook. Isaac Gurindo, every time I take CMC, I draft Isaac Gurindo, and I get him anytime I can. I will aggressively take him. That's why I'm about 6 spots ahead of average draft position. Next, we have Austin Eckler, whose average draft position is 146.8. And I'm drafting him at 151. I love Austin Eckler, and I take him when I can. Next up, we have Marquise Brown. This is a good one for y'all. His average draft position is 142. I have him in 57% of my leagues. That's 8 out of 14 times, and I take him at 121. I'm almost 20 spots ahead on Marquise Brown. Look at it like this. It's a best ball league. All I need is touchdowns. I love Mahomes. I think Marquise Brown could be a real game changer for them. I'm not sold on Rasheed Rice being 100%. I don't know what Kelce has left. I don't know what Worthy has. I'm not sold on any of them. I think they're together as a group, amazing, but I don't know who the alpha is, and I'm going to take anybody who can catch passes from Patty Mahomes. Next up, we have Trey Harris. Shockingly, his ADP is 130, and I'm taking him at 106 on average. When I need receivers, because I went running back heavy, Trey Harris is a guy I'm looking for. I reach on him. This is typically when I'm drafting out a spot 10, 11, 12. I reach on Trey Harris. I love Trey Harris. He really is nice. Next up, we have Isaiah Likely. I'm about on ADP. Sam Darnold. I don't love Sam Darnold, but when he falls to me 10 picks later than his ADP, I'm going to take him as my 3rd quarterback in best ball. Cam Ward, his ADP is 156. I'm taking him around 143. I'm about 13 spots ahead of consensus, but look at it like this. I think Cam Ward could explode this year. I'm super high on Calvin Ridley. Might as well put him on my fantasy teams. Zach Ertz is a tight end I love. I have him average draft position 166. I have him in 42.8% of my leagues. 6 out of 14. And my ADP for him is 174. I'm 12 spots after consensus on Zach Ertz. That's a steal. He's one of my home run hitters this year, I think. Pat Freiermuth, I hate that he's even on this list. Average draft positions 190. I have him at 154. These were all before the trade news of Juanu Smith. I hate that I have him now, but we're stuck with him, so hopefully Rodgers likes him. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, I have Aaron Rodgers in 10 leagues. That's right, 10 times, 71% of 14, 10 out of 14 leagues. ADP 173, I take him at 173. He is my third quarterback in almost all of my leagues. I think he's a home run hit. I think him and DK are going off. Look at the Steelers to be a high end competitive team, no question asked, led by Aaron Rodgers, who in a down year still scored 242 fantasy points last year. Look it up. He's amazing. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Next up, DeAndre Hopkins. I have exposure to him in 71% of my leagues, 10 out of 14 drafts. His ADP is 187, and I'm taking him at 160. Look at it like this. Hopkins, you're getting him for free. Round what? 12, 14? Who cares? Look at it. He's with the Ravens. Okay? The Ravens are one of the best teams in the AFC with the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals. Look at it. Hopkins, he's a stud. He's done it with trash quarterbacks. And now you give him one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Hopkins is going off this year. I'm not saying he's going for 1,000,000 yards, but I wouldn't be shocked if Hopkins catches 8, 10 touchdowns. I wouldn't be shocked for talking about Hopkins like we talk about Devontae Adams come next season. That's right. I love me some Hopkins, especially when I get him for free. Next up, Chigo Conquo. I don't love or hate him. What if? What if Cam Ward likes him? His ADP is 181. If I get him 14 picks later, why not? Blake Corum is about the last running back I take in almost every draft. He goes about 209. I take him right around pick 200. ADP doesn't matter at this point. Some spicy Darren Waller. We got the news. He came back in. He's with Miami. What's he going to do? Probably nothing, but want to anchor my team with Trey McBride. I do love to get me a good tight end and some good backups with high upside. That's Darren Waller. Next up, Pat Bryant. Pat Bryant is my last main guy for you. I pick him at 154. His ADP is 187. I'm 30 spots ahead of you. I haven't in 8 of 14 leagues. Here's the thing. Sean Payton is known for being a good coach, and when he talks about players, he's typically right. He says he loves Pat Bryant. He loves how he runs slants. He loves that. Bo Nix likes the ball out of his hands fast. Sounds to me like Pat Bryant's the perfect connection for a lot of quick slant routes. Catch 5, go down. Catch 8, go down. I'm looking at Pat Bryant. What if he's good? Great. And if he sucks, we're taking him in the middle of the draft. What's that? Round 10, 11, 12, 13? Who cares? The pick can be terrible. Anytime I take Travis Kelce, I want Noah Gray. Terrence Ferguson is a deep sleeper. Same with Tutu Atwell. Nothing special here. All right, now that we're done with all that, let's come over here to formatting the data. We're going to sort the sheet from Z to A, from column C here. And what that's going to do is show us our most owned players here at 71%, along with DeAndre Hopkins, 71%. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers right at ADP, and we're a little ahead on Hopkins, but that's why we're getting him nonstop. Pat Bryant is our next most taken player with Marquise Brown and Jonathan Taylor, 8 out of 14 times. Calvin Ridley at 7 out of 14. Blake Corum, Zach Ertz, and Jalen Reed. So what we're going to do is cut off the data here at number 12, which is Trey Benson, Cooper Kupp, and Breece Hall, all at 5. And let's talk about our top ones. First off, we have Aaron Rodgers in the first column. His ADP is accurate, but I really believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to break through this year in the sense of have a little bit of resurgence. Last year, he scored about 240 fantasy points. 2 years before that, before the injury, about 250, 260. I think he could come in nice and smooth over 200. And again, it's best ball. I'm just looking for him to be a consistently decent quarterback. Nothing home run. And overall, he's my QB3. Next, we have DeAndre Hopkins. I truly believe Hopkins is going to have a resurgence. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. The Ravens are a Super Bowl team. Next, we have Pat Bryant. Again, if he's as any good as Michael Thomas, if he's anything good, if he's good for the quick release for Bo Nix, 3-step, 5-step drop, quick slant out to the left, Pat Bryant could be a monster. Marquise Brown, I said it again, I'll say it before, who knows who the number 1 is in Kansas City? I just want someone connected to Mahomes. Marquise Brown could get loose for 8 touchdowns, and all those could be a 40, 30-yard catch. That's a huge fantasy points. And again, we're looking for spike weeks. It is best ball after all. I love me Jonathan Taylor. I'm taking him aggressively. Again, if the Colts can do anything, it's all coming through Jonathan Taylor. Calvin Ridley's a guy I love. I really think he's going to go off and demolish this ADP. I wouldn't be shocked if next year we're taking him right around pick 30. Next, we have Blake Corum. I'm surprised I have him this much. I think it's just because when we get into those 200 picks, you just got to take somebody on Blake Corum, someone I really like. So I'm taking him. Zach Ertz is surprising. Everyone thought he was washed, but last year he had quietly about 160 fantasy points. He was one of Jaden Daniels' favorite targets. Why can't he do it again? We've seen old tight ends be productive over and over again in the NFL. I'm looking to see Zach Ertz do it again and for pick 166, 174, all day, every day. And lastly, Jalen Reed. I really believe that Jalen Reed could be the best receiver on this team. And if he's not, he's the perfect slot gadget guy with Matthew Golden on the outside. That means PPR targets, gadget plays, touchdowns. I like Jalen Reed enough to really enjoy him. To wrap things up in my final thoughts, here's what I have. If you're doing best ball, get Aaron Rodgers at the end of the draft. Look for Hopkins, Pat Bryant. Take them all at the end. If you're in late round 2, early 3, and Jonathan Taylor's there, smash him. Calvin Ridley's a home run in the mid picks. Who cares about Blake Corum? But if you're at 200, take him. Zach Ertz is someone I really like, especially for best ball, and Jalen Reed could be a league winner. I love me high upside plays. Anyways, you all have a great day. Fantasy Football Sensei out.